Welcome to the Uncomplicated Perimenopause podcast. I'm Kate Grosvenor, your friendly perimenopause expert and life coach.
And I'm Gabriella, Kate's daughter, representing all the women who are nowhere near perimenopause but want to understand it better.
Whether you're just starting your perimenopause journey, deep into it, or you're a loved one trying to support someone who is, we've got you covered.
We'll be answering all of your burning questions, exploring the ups and downs, and sharing expert advice and personal insights.
So grab a cup of tea, get comfy, and let's dive into the wonderful, sometimes wild, world of perimenopause together.
And remember, no matter where you are on your journey, you are not alone.
Welcome to the Uncomplicated Perimenopause. Hello, my darlings, and welcome to episode 22 of the Uncomplicated Perimenopause podcast. I'm Kate Grosvenor, a perimenopause expert and life coach.
And I'm Gabriella Grosvenor, Kate's daughter, here to learn with you all.
We're just having a conversation. We just looked at ourselves in the camera and went, well, we are just so wearing interesting outfits today.
Yeah.
For those of you listening, we're both just wearing black round neck tops.
Sweatshirts, yeah.
It's not happening, is it, today?
No.
I think it's the weather.
Yeah.
Bless you. It's
Yeah.
just all hormonal. Both of my eldest and my middle girls are just like very premenstrual and I'm just wanting to run away from them. And this is the funny thing because, you know, we talk about hormones all the time and we forget. I think it's actually quite interesting, this concept. I think we need to talk about it more. That so many of us who are perimenopausal have hormonal teenagers.
Yeah.
And I was going to say it's a joy, but I don't mean it. It's not a joy. It's hard work though, because I didn't sleep very well last night. The joys, but I was working late and then couldn't sleep, and then I had to get up for school run for your younger sister, and I'm just feeling a bit, just be nice to me, speak kindly to me, and not to be rude, but you're not in that mood today. You're not in the I'm going to speak nicely to my mother mood. You're in the kind of like, don't look at me in that tone of voice type of mood.
I'm not I'm not
in
gonna
I'm going to humour my mum because I'm feeling soft and gentle.
I can't humour myself.
I can't. I know. Bless your heart.
It's not a personal thing.
No,
I just
I
can't.
gathered. I'm like, just be nice to me, and you're like,
Let's just not talk then.
You sit over there and just be you. Yeah. So bless.
I actually don't understand your hormones on your period and why we get
your estrogen drops at the second half of your cycle.
What about pre?
What about pre what?
Like when you're just before you start your period and you're like a ball of
you're just all over and this is the thing, it's just perimenopause is a little bit like premenstrual tension sometimes. So you and I are about.
So you feel this every day?
Not every day,
okay.
No. But it's just like this. You know, the rage that you get is similar to perimenopause rage, and that's why we're all kind of like.
Could not live like this every day, or something
this
every day.
It's not like that every day, but it's like the hormones that you withdraw from you is that you know when people talk about my estrogen's leaving me and I can't balance myself.
Yeah, that's
kind of welcome to our world. So yeah, it's funsies. But I think we ought to do an episode at some point. Somebody asked the question for me about
someone takes it on WhatsApp and I'll pick it up.
How to deal with perimenopause when you have hormonal teenagers, because it is that is a juggling act.
Hormonal teenagers and boys as well.
I wouldn't know. 3 girls.
Girl mum.
Ho ho. Right, my lovely Gabriella. What is the question for today, my lover?
So, the question is from Yasmin, but Yasmin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Depends on which way we're going.
Yeah, she's from the UAE, so I'm guessing Yasmin.
Marhaba.
So, Yasmin has been struggling with mood swings and often feels irritated or tearful without understanding why.
So, back on the subject.
Yeah, this was quite good, yeah. I didn't want to spoil it, but she asked how she can recognise and manage these emotional changes, and are there ways to bring balance to her moods without feeling out of control.
The irony. After we just had that opening. Okay, so first of all, Yasmin, thank you so much for sharing this. It is a question that obviously resonates with so many of us because we just
obviously.
I like the fact that you didn't just say, well, strangely enough.
No, I didn't want to ruin it.
Okay.
She needs her own moment.
Yes. So, emotional changes, especially mood swings, can feel incredibly unsettling, especially the fact that they seem to come out of nowhere. So you have your own emotional swings going on, and for perimenopausal women, it just seems like you just get sideswiped by them. And that's one of the most difficult things, I think, about perimenopause and mood swings, is that you don't see them coming. Because whereas in, for example, you know that in the second half of your cycle, you feel more cranky and you feel a little bit kind of like unhinged.
I don't know, I feel mine's the beginning of the cycle.
No, for you it's just before your period.
Yeah.
That's the end of your cycle.
Oh, my bad.
Your bad. So the beginning of your cycle is day one of the period, right?
Oh.
Every day's a school day. But so it's the same for when in early perimenopause, it's the same. So the second half of your cycle, you're going to feel more cranky. When you're kind of in the later stages of perimenopause, your periods might be so irregular that you can't, when your hormones are all over the place, it's just the hormones all over the place. So I think first and foremost, it's again, as always, and I say this every single episode, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart every single episode, you are not alone in this, Yasmin. You are not alone in this, and you've just got to congratulate yourself, I would say, for just, it's wonderful that you recognise that you're looking for ways to manage these feelings and restore balance. So celebrate the win, that you're looking for ways to sort it out, and give yourself a pat on the back for saying, I'm actively looking for something, because we have to celebrate the small wins. I did an episode on this, so I have, at the Uncomplicated Perimenopause membership that I do, I did a whole video on this yesterday about celebrating small wins, because it's so important, because that's what will get you through perimenopause, just celebrating small wins. So firstly, recognizing emotions is the important first step. Okay, mood swings is the first sign of emotional shifts, hormonal shifts, and it's a sign that a lot of perimenopausal women that are going into perimenopause, so a lot of women will say to me, am I in perimenopause? That's a question we must get
every day.
How many times a day? Lots and lots and lots, right?
Yeah. On different social media platforms.
Yeah, on TikTok, on WhatsApp, on our Facebook group, a lot. And it's one of the earliest signs of going into perimenopause, this mood swing. And we're not talking about like little ones. We're talking about, I feel dead inside, I feel raging, I feel like I don't want to get out of bed, I feel just so anxious, I don't want to spend any time with my family. We're not, it's massive mood swings that can happen, or not. It can be just like, I don't know what's going on, but a lot of it is, I don't recognise myself kind of mood swings. But even without specific hormonal triggers, life's pressures can have a profound effect on our emotions. So what I would say first and foremost is if you're starting to feel like there's something going on and I don't quite know what it is, start keeping a journal. So start journaling around your emotions. Start trying to, at the beginning, it's not even finding patterns. I want it to be more like a conversation with yourself.
I've seen you recommend that to a few people, so then they can also tell the GP or doctor, this is how often, this is
So it's good to start figuring out. So if you do feel like you're going to go and have medical advice, obviously download my free tracker and checklist. If you haven't already done so, go to www.myperimenopausesymptoms.com.
Oh, I didn't know it was that.
There you go.
My perimenopause symptoms.
myperimenopausesymptoms.com, and you can just download a free tracker and checklist. It's really good evidence to take to your doctor or your nurse practitioner, because they will just be able to look through. It's a tracker, it's a checklist, so you know where you are, they know where you are. It's really good factual evidence for them. It helps them immensely, and it helps you give them evidence. That's number one. Number two, journaling, because it helps you to get it out of your head and onto paper, and it stops taking up so much space in your head, which is really good, because you can go down that kind of self-fulfilling almost rabbit hole of going around in a circle with it, and you really don't want to do that, because you just ruminate on it and it gets bigger than it needs to be. Get it out of paper, get it out of your head onto paper, and what you'll see is certain patterns emerge during the month, and then you'll be able to see where the hormones start to affect what's going on. You'll start to see certain patterns, like maybe financial pressures start happening towards payday. Maybe it gets worse. Maybe towards period time it gets worse. Maybe if your kids are having issues, it gets worse, and you'll start to see these patterns emerging, and then you can take almost just say, okay, that's why this is happening, rather than just like, what's wrong with me? Because we have that what's wrong with me fear, and we start blaming all these kind of like, there's something wrong with me, why am I so filling the missing blank? And so getting it onto paper helps you spot problems that you might not otherwise think about.
I think the same with the checklist. I think there's more symptoms where people go, oh my gosh, that was a symptom? That makes sense. I have that.
Rather than just think
there's something wrong with you.
I've got some weird and wonderful illness. Now that doesn't mean if you feel like there's something seriously wrong, don't go and have it checked out. Obviously do. This is not a replacement for cardiac, big illnesses. If you do feel there's something wrong, please do go and have yourself checked out. I say that as the warning always. So when it comes to managing these emotions, there are a few techniques that can really bring you relief and feel like you're more in control. Now, you don't actually have to be in control to have relief. It's the perception of control that will give you the stress relief.
What do you mean?
So, studies tell us that even believing that you have an element of control will make you feel less stressed. You don't actually have to have control over things. You just have to feel like you have a choice, feel like you have some control, feel like you're doing something. So the opposite of overwhelm is just feeling like, when you feel like everything's out of control and you can't do anything about anything, and just feeling like there is an element of choice, element of control, will make you feel like, oh, I'm not so stressed, I'm actually doing something. So action is quite often the opposite of anxiety. Okay.
Yeah. That's what you've always told us.
Like when you're feeling really, really anxious, like, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this. Just do something. Yeah. Take an action, take a step. So
you said something amazing at the fire walk. I really want to remember it and remind me of it. It's something to do with a decision that you don't take as a wish or something like that. What was it? It was so nice. For 2 hours. I know, but it was so well put. Of something like a decision that you don't actually take is just a wish.
It's just a wish. Yeah.
Facts. That was so good.
Because that's all it is. If you make a decision, but you don't take any action, that you're just having I wish I could do that. Yeah, it's just a thought. It's just a thought. That's not a decision. Yeah. A decision without action is literally that. It's just a wish. Mm-hmm. And I've made a decision. I'm going to fill in the blank. Yeah. Lose weight, start yoga. Well, unless you actually do anything about it. Yeah. It's just wishful thinking, really, isn't it? We have to back things up with action. So here are a few techniques. Okay, so if you really want to manage your emotions, you know what I'm going to say.
Meditate.
Yeah, that's always a good one. Mindful breathing and meditation. So just taking 5 minutes a day to focus on your breathing can make a big difference. Mm-hmm. There's apps like, so I'm ADHD, as you know, so I can't just meditate because I'm already having at least 2 conversations in my head.
So your brain can't.
So my brain can't
rest like that.
Focus on its own. So, but I can use guided meditations. Okay. So there's apps like Calm or Headspace.
I've heard Calm is quite good. Yeah.
So it depends on which one. So there's Headspace is Australian. So it goes up at the. I'm not going to do it again because
Christy will be listening. That's just racist now.
But so and Calm is American. So I like Calm because Matthew
McConaughey is the voice?
No, one of them. So he tells the sleep story.
Yes, Michael Bublé listened to it.
I listened to it. And he goes, well, hello there.
Man.
If you go to sleep listening to that, you will have a good night's sleep.
Really sorry to his wife, but like your husband has a nice voice to listen to.
He does. And loads of people tell sleep stories. What's his name from One Direction? Harry Styles tells a sleep story. Yeah. Okay. Actually decent. Weirdly, he's not a bit of me. I mean, I'm more Matthew McConaughey than Harry Styles, but each their own.
Respect to Harry.
Yeah, each their own. I mean, bless him. I was so sad about Liam Payne. I'm not a One Direction.
No, same,
fan,
but that just
bless his heart. Anywho, so guided meditations can help you stay grounded, bring a sense of calm. So when your emotions are really high, what's the opposite of high? Is not low. Oh. Grounded. So if you're flapping about in the wind, you need to stay grounded. Apps like Calm and Headspace are really, really good. Sometimes they do free trials. I recommend a free trial because it's not for everyone. And just a few minutes focusing on your breathing. If you can't do guided meditations, just cocoa breaths. If you go to my YouTube channel, there's cocoa breaths. So it's Kate Graham, the life coach on YouTube. There's a video. It's usually on the front page because sorry, there's a noise in the studio that's just really if there's just it's just a really good video to watch for cocoa breaths. For just I get so distracted.
Yeah,
I just can't.
I'm just thinking about your brain, like your
Yeah,
ADHD. Like,
my
no,
ADHD is just gonna go, what's going on? There's a noise in the studio, and it's just annoying me. Anyway, so that's number one. Number two, nourishing your body actually is a really, really, really good way to deal with mood swings. We don't appreciate enough how much our diet can impact our moods. We try. I don't know why we do this, and I don't know about you, but I am an absolute bugger for this one.
right.
I sometimes think that I can get away with it.
Away with what?
Not eating the right food. Like, if I sneak the food, it doesn't matter. I don't know why I think this. I think if I just eat toast, it won't affect me or something. I don't know. So, I know pretty much, I'm not going to say I know everything there is to know about nutrition, but I know a lot about nutrition. I know a lot about perimenopausal nutrition. I know a lot about gut health. Yeah. I know a lot about hormone health. I know a lot about how food impacts hormones. I know a lot. And yet sometimes I try and cheat. Why do I do this?
Well, there's little rules. Like Miranda Hart stands by, if you eat crap in the car, don't count. You're driving.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm not the best when it comes to... I'll sneak food whenever I can and crappy food, but I think it's because I'm young. Yeah. That's my mentality, which is...
But that's okay. But for us, we cannot. So a lot of us in perimenopause are insulin resistant. We've worn our insulin is literally worn out. So when we eat foods that our body, for example, white carbs, high sugar foods, our body doesn't put my teeth back in my head. That thing just really funny. But what happens is that if you have a food that's high in fiber, high in protein, our body, it digests it so slowly, and the impact every time you eat something, basically your insulin levels, your sugar levels are spiked. Okay. Now, if it's high in fiber, the way that your body works is the sugar levels, it's a really slow release, and your body digests it really, really slowly. So although your blood sugar is spiked, it doesn't spike quickly, and it's really, really slow, and it digests slowly over time. So it doesn't give you that sugar high and that sugar crash. If you eat things like bread, things that are high in sugar, processed food, it just absolutely foo-bars you. Yeah. Okay. And then so you have the sugar high, and then you have the sugar crash. We can't do it in perimenopause anymore. We just can't do it. And I still try and cheat occasionally. And I don't know why I do it, because I know the rules.
Do you not need, though, your body just that treat that...
Yes, but at the right time. So on a Saturday night, so I know that if I have a treat on a Saturday evening, we're sitting in front of the telly, we're watching a movie, right? We've got the fire on. I've got Sunday morning off. Does it matter if my blood sugar crashes? No, not really. It does on a Tuesday morning, though, when I've got that many things to do that I can't afford the sugar crash. And this is the point. Your diet will impact your moods so significantly. You can't cheat anymore. You just can't. So, for instance, foods rich in omega-3s. Salmon, walnuts, very rich in omega-3s. They are not only good for your brain health, but they're also good for your mood swings. Didn't know that, did you?
No.
Balancing blood sugars out with whole grains, proteins, avoiding refined sugars also help to prevent highs and lows. So if your blood sugar's stable, it massively impacts your mood swings as well.
But aren't there like happy foods as well?
Yes, there are. So bananas,
pasta,
and these things.
Yeah.
Technically. But in perimenopause, a lot of those foods are they'll also spike your blood sugar, which is more problematic than the happy foods. Garlic is also a happy food. Eat as much garlic as you want in perimenopause.
I know, but pasta.
Yeah, but it's just not worth it. Yeah. We can't get away with it. If our insulin is worn out, if we're insulin resistant, it's just not worth it anymore. Genuinely. I mean, cacao, on the other hand, watch this space ... is a thing of absolute beauty. Yeah. But you know, it is what it is. Yeah. But it genuinely, the payoff. So it used to be, right, back in the day. So I was born early 70s, as you know, and I grew up in the era of Jane Fonda exercise videos.
And the pump up.
That was even later. That was actually in my teenage years, right? So and it was always like A minute on the lips, a lifetime on the hips, girls. No, that was actually an expression, right? And
I heard that in Friends.
Yeah, and we were all taught that, you didn't want to get fat and it wasn't worth it and all this kind of stuff, right? Okay, that's one way of looking at it. But we're not even talking about weight here. We're not talking about calories here. We are talking about how food will make you feel, your moods, your energy. So the payoff isn't, we're not talking about your dress size. We are talking about your mood, how you feel in yourself, your relationship with your own soul. Do you know, it dramatically makes a difference. Ain't worth it at all. Okay, the next one, movement and exercise.
Okay.
Physical activity. 10-minute walk, change your perspective on life. You know this, you do mental health walks every day. Completely
so necessary.
Your spirit. It releases endorphins. That's your feel-good chemical.
And it's just, you can breathe on your own.
You can breathe, your head clears.
Yeah.
And
I'm looking forward to mine actually for today.
Yeah, right. Do you want to go now? Do you know? Finish the podcast, off you go. But it's whether it's yoga, dancing. And the thing is, if you were in a really, really bad mood, why wouldn't you go for a 10-minute walk on a lunch break? Why not? It could be yoga, dancing, walking. Anything that you enjoy that involves movement is a really good idea, and it positively changes your mood.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be gym.
Oh, God, no. Yeah. You don't have to get sweaty. It's just movement. Because it will change your mood. It's that simple. I mean, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. But it changes your mood. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Okay? Last one. Connect with other humans. It sounds simple, but being around other women who are going through the same journey. Just friends, support groups. This is why, and I'm shameless plug here, and I'm really okay with that. We have a perimenopause membership called the Uncomplicated Guide to Perimenopause, and in there we have a free group as well, obviously. But in the perimenopause membership, they love and support each other.
Yeah, they are close.
They are
cute.
Close group. And it's a huge help. So whether it's a support group like that, it's in a membership, or just sharing your experiences, but feeling understood, feeling supported, having this common experience makes things so much less overwhelming.
Yeah.
And that really matters, because feeling like you're not understood, feeling like you're being gaslit, feeling like somebody is just not validating you, feeling like, you are genuinely on your own is really miserable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or competing with you and saying, well, that's just perimenopause. I've got this. It's like but I mean, a man can never know what this is like.
Yeah. Not even a medical professional.
No.
So.
No. The tiredness is another level. I think, Yasmin, just remember that mood swings, they're not a reflection of your strength or resilience. It doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you less than. It's part of the journey that we're all on. And when you start to feel these emotions rising, just try to acknowledge them without judging yourself. Imagine that they're like waves and that they're going to pass again. And then you're going to learn to ride each one a little bit more smoothly. And you're doing brilliantly. Honestly, the fact that you've reached out is really good. And just by being curious about this process and by seeking ways to care for yourself, that's really great. I promise you. I'm sending you so much encouragement, darling, on your journey. You're absolutely not alone. I promise you. We're here cheering for you. If anybody wants to have information about the perimenopause membership, just let us know, because we're here cheering you all on each step of the way, aren't we, darling? All right, my lovers, if you have any questions, if you'd like to submit a question to us, you can use the WhatsApp details below, or you can ask us in our perimenopause group on Facebook, which is
a post goes out every Friday.
Yes, Perimenopause with Kate Grosvenor. If you want to know about the perimenopause membership, you can just send us a WhatsApp, or you can email me, kate@kategrosvenor.com. Take care, my darlings, and I will see you next week. Bye. Thanks for joining us today on the Uncomplicated Perimenopause podcast. We hope you found this episode helpful and inspiring.
Don't forget, if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover, you can reach out through our perimenopause group or on WhatsApp.
For more information on my coaching, perimenopause supplements, books, or upcoming events, please visit www.kategrosvenor.com.
And if you've enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe, rate, and review our podcast. It really helps us reach more listeners just like you.
Until next time, remember, perimenopause doesn't have to be complicated. We're here to help you every step of the way.
Stay uncomplicated.